Hi friends, so today I'm going to be going over chapter 1 from our Drugs and Behavior textbook. I chose to do the first quarter of the chapter, which is roughly pages 1 through 7. So the first thing I'm going to go over are some important terms. The textbook explained that a lot of these terms do have gray areas where the definition may not be entirely correct or entirely clear. So I will be explaining some of these gray areas and just kind of going over them. So the first term is drug, which is any substance, natural or artificial, other than food, that by its chemical nature alters the structure or function in a living organism. And the textbook views all alcoholic beverages as drugs. The next term is illicit drug, which is a drug that is unlawful to possess or use. So many of these drugs are available by prescription, but they are illicit when they are manufactured or sold illegally. Also, alcohol and tobacco are not considered illicit substances, even when used by minors, just because of their widespread legal availability to adults. The next term is deviant drug use. This is drug use that is not common within a social group and that is disapproved of by the majority, causing members of the group to take corrective action. The next term is drug misuse. So this generally refers to the use of prescribed drugs in greater amounts than or for purposes other than those prescribed by a physician or a dentist. So this also includes paints, glues, or solvents, basically any product that is being used as a drug and its use which is not intended by the manufacturer. The next term is abuse. So this is the use of a substance in a manner, amounts, or situations that can cause problems or greatly increases the chances of problems occurring. And lastly, we have drug dependence, which is when an individual uses a drug so frequently and consistently that it appears difficult for the person to get along without using the drug. So the next thing I'm going to go over is use is not abuse. So most users of any given substance do not use it in ways that can be defined as abuse. For example, most people can drink alcohol without it resulting in problems, but about 10% of drinkers do have problems associated with drinking. These problems can include not showing up to work because you're hungover, or getting a DUI because you're driving under the influence, and some people may even need to go to a treatment facility to get help. The most common type of drug use is smoking marijuana. However, most people who smoke marijuana consider themselves recreational, social, or casual users. Even drugs such as heroin, crack cocaine, and methamphetamine do not experience instant addiction as portrayed by the media. Usually the media portrays like if you do heroin or crack cocaine once, you will be instantly addicted. However, that's not actually the case for everyone. And then the textbook has an important question that I thought was important to consider. Why do some people develop serious problems related to substances while most avoid them? So then the next heading we have is every drug has multiple effects. So every psychoactive drug acts at multiple sites, both in the brain and in other organs. So while a drug user may only be seeking relaxation, that can be accompanied by other effects such as having a slower reaction time. And if a person is using a drug to feel more energized, more alert, that may also come with another effect of having an increased heart rate because drugs affect both the brain and other organs in your body. So next we have amount matters. So this may seem pretty clear, but I thought it was also important. So large doses, frequent doses, or taking the drug by a method that results in it traveling to the brain very quickly can cause different effects and more problems than taking the same drug in a single or lower dose. Next, we have drugs are not good or bad. So this can be a little controversial and it can be a little offensive for some people to hear, but the textbook explains that it's not the drug itself that's bad, but the behavior that's associated with it and the way the drug is being used. So pretty much any drug can produce benefits when used carefully, and there's a lot of examples here. Heroin is a good painkiller and is used medically in many countries. Cocaine is a good local anesthetic and is still used in medical procedures, including the United States. And methamphetamine is available as a prescription drug in the US and is approved to treat ADHD and obesity. If we blame the substance itself, our efforts to correct drug-related problems tend to focus exclusively on eliminating the substance, perhaps ignoring all of the factors that led to the abuse of the drug. So I thought that was a very important quote from the textbook. If we just say drugs are bad, don't do them, then we're not really helping the people who are addicted because we're ignoring all the factors that led to the abuse and we're just trying to eliminate the substance. So I thought that was very important. And then lastly, I'm going to go over the history of drugs. So humans have been using alcohol and plant-derived drugs for thousands of years. For example, psychoactive drugs have been used in religious rituals to enhance spiritual experiences. Psychoactive drugs have also played significant roles in past economies. For example, wine was a significant trade item among Greek, Turkish, Egyptian, and Italian people via the Mediterranean Sea over 2,000 years ago. Also, the coca plant, which is the plant which cocaine is derived from, had a significant role in the Mayan Empire of South America. So as we can see, drugs, this is not something new that's happening in our society. It has been around for thousands of years. However, in the past 100 years, there has been a large change in the development and marketing of legal pharmaceuticals. This can be the introduction of vaccines, antibiotics, birth control, and mental illness treatment. So now, like in the past 100 years, as these things have become more popularly used, people are taking these sorts of drugs regularly, and especially with birth control, like people are taking drugs even though they're not sick, there's not really, they're not sick or anything. So it's kind of normalized drug use a little bit. It's seen a lot more prevalently. So that's kind of one thing in the history of drugs that has changed in recent years.